Welcome everyone to Nick and Mitch, and of course, welcome to the Tartiflette Games Season 1 Invitational. My name is Nick Comito, and to my right is the man that makes it all happen, our director, producer, video editor, and statistician, the oil in the machine, the gas in the engine. It's Mitch Bell.
Well, thank you so much, Nick, and we couldn't do it without the razzle and the dazzle of my favorite color commentator and the man who does everything else, so thanks for all that you do. But today we have over an hour of incredible content for you guys to watch. 3 major events with 9 of the top steep riders all competing for that one championship.
Now, before we get today's event started, everything is in place. We are ready to roll. Our riders are on top of the mountain, ready to get the first event started. But first, we have to ask you, go and find your best pair of headphones, find the best speaker in the house, crank up that bass, and definitely turn the volume to 100, because Mitch put together, painstakingly, one of the greatest steep intro videos this internet has ever seen. So without further ado, let's start the show.
Riders from across the globe entered for their shot at greatness. Today, 8 of those top competitors and 1 steep celebrity have it within their sights. Let the games begin.
It started in April with the ski Knuckle Huck, where Volition came out swinging and took home the first gold of the year.
Then it was our boarder's turn. Just Steep It took the word knuckle to heart and won with his iconic giraffe slap.
Next, it was time for Real Ski. All of the edits were insane, but Just Steep It inched out the back-to-back gold.
In Real Snow, Flair stole the hearts of the fans and wowed the judges, bringing gold back to Finland.
Finally, Ski Slopestyle was bonkers, where the Space Clump went lights out to secure his hardware.
Today, 9 riders will compete in 3 massive events in 2 completely different disciplines. They will have to combine all of their skills if they want a spot on this podium. At the end of the day, one of the riders will make history as the first ever TFG season champion. The hills are groomed and the adrenaline is pumping. It all comes down to this.
Just Steep It, slapping drafts, you had everything.
I just cannot get enough of this crazy chicken.
Envy is pulling out all the stops here in Slopestyle.
It's always something new. He never throws the same trick twice.
Camox had one of my favorite Real Skis this year, hands down.
Head-banging edit. Man, this polar bear is fired up.
His camera work has just been so incredible this year.
He's the best editor of the bunch, no question.
This is his first time competing, but if you don't already know him, you've got another thing coming. These 9 riders are some of the best in the game, and they spent over a month filming these clips. We're taking you to the Big Air in Kitchik, Alaska, real steep across all maps and all sports, and the Knuckle Huck in the Hakuba Mountains of Japan. The Tartiflette Games Invitational starts now. We hope you guys are as pumped as we are to get this event started, because we have been waiting months to have this event finally air. And as you saw in the intro, we have the 3 events and the 9 riders, but now it's time to take a little closer look at all of that before we get started.
Today's contest starts in the mountains of Alaska with Big Air, the first Tartiflette Games event we hosted 3 years ago in the beta of Steep.
We picked the beautiful, picturesque location of Kitchik, Alaska for the surroundings, but also because this is a bit more difficult than a normal Big Air. Our riders will have to avoid the 2 cross beams going between the buildings and also land in the very narrow streets, and be careful that they don't crash into one of the buildings. Next up, we have Real Steep. Just like our previous Real events, this will be based on editing and tricks and creativity, but it is open to anywhere on the mountain and any sport in Steep.
Everyone knows that all of the riders you're going to see today have an incredible trick set in the game. However, it's really going to come down to this: their editing skills on their computers, building a story with just a limited amount of time.
And finally, we are closing out the event with our first and our favorite from this season, the Knuckle Huck.
Saving the best for last, this event is a straight up fan favorite. If you don't know what to expect from the Knuckle Huck, you will in just a little bit. This event is insane, and our riders cannot wait to get it underway.
Speaking of our riders, it's time to check out who they are, how they got here, and the order that they'll be riding in today.
Starting off in pole position today from Finland, it is Flair, our Real Snow gold medalist. Flair is no stranger to video editing. Anything this man touches turns to gold, and he proved that during Real Snow.
Next, we have Just Steep It, and if you're familiar with our events, you know him because he was our snowboard Knuckle Huck gold medalist and then went back-to-back with a Real Ski gold medal.
Absolutely insane. In third position, we have Steep Clips Germany from, well, Germany. He is a 3-time top 10 ranker in the Tartiflette Games. This man has entered a ton of our contests and has yet to make a podium appearance.
Our fourth rider will be Envy from England. We saw him do incredible work in our slopestyle event, the final one of the season, and he took home a silver medal.
Up next from Norway, it's the Mort, our resident polar bear who secured third place in Real Snow and third in slopestyle. Another dangerous editor and another dangerous trick set for everyone riding today to watch out for.
Following Mort, we have our second English rider of the day, Camox, who has been in several of our events. He had a 6th place finish in the snowboard huck and a 5th place finish in Real Ski, so he is primed for all of our events.
From the UK, in the 7th spot today, we have Lucas with a U and a C. He has also competed in multiple events, but his number one highlight was taking 2nd place in Real Snow.
Our 8th rider will be Pollo Loco, the Swiss chicken, who is also very familiar, having 3 top 10 finishes, but has yet to crack the podium.
And finally, rounding out the bunch, a newcomer to the Tartiflette Games, but definitely a veteran of Steep. It is none other than SteepSteep from Canada. He was our special guest invite, and if you're wondering why he's here, you need to take a second and go visit his YouTube channel with over 60,000 subscribers. This man knows this game in and out, but like we said before, the Tartiflette Games are a totally new battleground for this rider, so we'll see how he fares against some veterans of the Tartiflette Games. Well, there you have it. That is all of the information you need to know before today gets underway. Without further ado, let's throw it to Kitchik for Big Air. Welcome to Kitchik, the location of the TFG Invitational Big Air event. This course is unlike any conventional Big Air course in that it's placed in the center of a city, making landings extremely difficult after our riders are pulling off their biggest and best sends.
The judging of these runs starts from the moment they get on the kicker until the moment they land. They were required to land in the main street. If they landed on one of the beams, that was considered the end of their trick, and nothing after that point counted. And this event is scored on 50% creativity and 50% difficulty. The rider's first run will take place on skis, and then their second run will take place on snowboard, and then the overall event score will be a combination of both runs.
Yes, it's the Invitational, so we have to go big. These riders cannot rely on their main discipline to reach the top. They are going to have to nail it in both ski and snowboard. It's definitely going to be a challenge, especially with that small landing zone. So without further ado, let's get today's event started. Flair is is ready to roll.
All right, we are up in the booth and we are ready to go. Kicking off the tournament with the finish flash flare. He's sending it huge over both of those rails and sticks the landing, going with a Bio 10.
Looks like he might have tapped his pole on that second support, and I have to say, I thought these supports would be a little more of an obstacle for our riders here, but Flair showing no trouble whatsoever.
Whenever you send it big like that, you don't have to worry, and he switched up the hands, going from a mute grab to a blunt with a little tweak in there, and of course he's going to be in first place because that starts off the competition.
Well, Flair broke the ice for the competition today. Let's see what Just Steep It has in his tool bag, making his way seamlessly to the big air jump. Cutting his speed with a little trick before the lip, and yeah, he cut his speed and he hits that first obstacle, but he's able to land safely.
I appreciate the trick he was going for. Started off with a little 180 at the top of the ramp, and then went switch off of it with a Pretz Cork 5 in the air. Like you said, just tapping that rail, but still a pretty trick.
Hey, stalls count for style points, definitely, and that is going to put Just Steep It above Flair in the first 2 runs of the day.
Our third rider rocking his classic black and orange outfit. We have Steep Clips Germany coming down to the ramp and going in the air, changing up those grabs, and just such a smooth landing. Would you look at that?
By far the biggest air we have seen in big air today. Loved the energy coming out of the starting gate with a simple little front flip and then pulling out a gorgeous nose to blunt tweak. Wonderful work out of the man from Germany. Fourth in line, it's Envy. Let's see if he's going for speed or style here. Looks like he's going straight speed. Cuts it at the tail end of the jump. Lands it clean in between the 2 pillars.
I love that he went for a nose butter off the start and then goes with the dub flat 9. You can see all of our riders are going with changing up their grabs halfway through. I think they know that one single grab isn't going to be enough to win this.
Envy knows all about style, and you can see it there in the slow-mo, just milking every last second out of that huge grab.
Everyone's favorite man bear from Norway, it's the Mort next to approach the ramp, and he's coming in switch, just throwing it, getting huge spins, count them all, lands it.
He has to be dizzy after that. Please, someone get him some aspirin. Holy cow, I cannot count the amount of rotations that he just pulled off.
That seems to be a quad Misty 21, our biggest spin so far, starting off with a safety grab and then switching over to my new favorite, the bow and arrow.
It might be a mouthful to get that entire trick combination out, but man, does it look great on camera. Great run from It's the Mort. Camox sending it down in his all gray kit with some red accents. You're gonna see those in just a second. Pulling off a beautiful trick. I mean, talk about less is more.
Yeah, he went with the Dub Misty 9. Just so clean throughout, landing that thing switch, and again, people switching up those hands.
I can never get enough of those red skis.
Well, Just Steep It holds the top spot with 3 riders to go. Let's see if Lucas from the UK can take that over, throwing it off the jump with a nose butter at the start, switching up those tail grabs and landing switch.
Holy crap, landing with speed, able to pull off some ridiculous maneuvers up in the air, pulling out that blunt to blunt. I mean, no one can do it better than Lucas. Poyo starting his run before the cameras told him we were ready. Jeez, oh man, but we got the entire trick, and holy crap, that stomp, that steez, come on.
Well, he started with the nose butter and then another nose butter. Beautiful Misty 5 safety off of the jump, and then just add some extra at the end. Doesn't count, but sure looks pretty.
Hey, I'll never say no to a little sprinkle of style.
Well, it was dripping with style, and that's gonna put him into 3rd place. And finally, to cap off the Knuckle Huck ski, a true Steep celebrity. Oh my gosh, just look at that.
Absolutely unreal showing here from SteepSteep, coming out with that 270 nose butter, following that up with a dub windmill. I mean, come on. And then pulling off that super late safety. Dude, unreal.
We haven't seen a windmill yet in this or in any of our events, and man, was that gorgeous. He's gonna take over 1st place after round 1.
Well deserved. Well, look at that. The newcomer, SteepSteep, claiming top position after the first half of Big Air.
He definitely set himself apart with that trick. An 88.3. Just Steep It behind him by a little bit at 82.2, and then we have Envy in third place at 80.8. Everyone else hovering in the 70s, but man, SteepSteep took this first round, the big air ski with that trick. Just so gorgeous. A 270 nose butter to start, and then a dub windmill with the late safety. Classy, sassy, and a little bit of everything else.
Yeah, that windmill had both of us absolutely speechless. It'll be interesting to see if he can hold on to this lead heading into the snowboard round.
It's time to kick off round 2 of the big air. So they've strapped into their snowboards. Flair currently in 7th place. He's gonna have to do something special to get up there a bit. And ooh, what a tweak.
Yeah, that indie tweak was something out of a book. I mean, textbook performance from Flair. I wonder if that's going to give him enough points. I mean, he's in 7th right now, really going to have to fight if he wants to sit on that podium.
Either way, absolutely love the style that he pulls off midair. Just a slow rotation, getting that hand up, and then the late twist out. He's going to move up into 6th place, and check out this first person cam. That is massive air over the city.
All right, Just Steep It up for round 2 with those bright highlighter orange pants coming in with a ton of speed. Holy underflip. Oh, no way. You're telling me he has another person to smack hands with?
Well, he's known for this. Like the giraffe in the Knuckle Huck, he does a hand tap and looks like he knocks him off of that pillar with that underflip and getting that hand up. Look at this, so close, just smacked him off.
Unreal. Just Steep It, bringing the violence into these hallowed halls of the Tartiflette Games one more time, but holy cow, was it worth it.
What a beautiful tweak on that Japan, too. That's going to keep him in 2nd place. We're headed back to the man from Germany. He goes with a backflip under that arch. Nice touch, and he is coming in with speed to the kicker and with a ton of spins and throws in a late nose grab.
Absolutely in love with that late nose grab, little touch of style before he touches down, but man, some helicopter action on those rotations on the descent. But it looks like this is just not enough to move Steep Clips up in the podium. He's still gonna sit in 9th place. And now it's time for the man named after my first and favorite mobile phone. It's Envy. Coming in again with those bright orange highlighter pants. Did they give those away on top of the mountain? Holy crail!
Looks like he tried to twin Steep Clips Germany just before him, but he added some style with that nose butter at the top and then throwing it into a misty 9. Beautiful grabs and just tapping that board. We are back to the polar bear, who is in 5th place. We'll see if he can improve on that score. Going a bit to the right, huge spin, and whoa, what a landing on those rocks.
More massive rotations from It's the Mort and throwing in a little wall ride for the fans right at the tail end. Unfortunately, we cannot count it.
Well, we can't count the wall ride, but we can see if we can count the number of rotations. A frontside triple 18 with the melon and a late method tweak. Look how close he comes to the rocks.
Super clean landing on that trick as well. This one all around well-rounded. Great job to It's the Mort. And he's going to move up to 4th. Let's see what Ronald McDonald, I'm sorry, this is Camox, sitting in 7th place currently, coming off a little bit to the right of the kicker, gonna tap that last board. Oh, there's something to say about a slow rotation.
Man, what a truck driver grab. Haven't seen that yet on the snowboard with just a slow, clean 180. And of course that tap at the very end to get him out.
You know, Ronald McDonald was a well-renowned trucker.
Where do you get your facts? Anyways, back over to Lucas on the mountain from the UK, looking around, making sure the coast is clear before he sends it off of the jump. Beautiful dub flip and sticks the landing.
He comes off dead center from the kicker and pulls off a well-meditated trick. You know, this was not something that he just thought of while he was in the air. He knew exactly what he was planning, and he executed it beautifully.
A nice shifty, too, when he's going off the jump. Looks like he's going one way, back another, but it's not enough. He'll stay in 8th place.
All right, now I'm really starting to believe that they did give away orange pants at this event and they forgot to give us a pair. I'm gonna have to make a call. here comes Pollo Loco for his snowboard run, pulling off 2 huge dub underflips. Just class.
It's the second time we've seen the underflip here on the snowboard, but the first time he sends it backwards, has a nice method grab in there and stomps that landing. Check out this grind at the very beginning too, just dripping with style. And that style is going to be enough to move him up into 4th place with 1 rider to go.
Nick, we didn't tell you to go yet. Oh well, here he goes. SteepSteep coming in huge, able to pull off just, oh my god.
This man has this game down to a science, and there's a lot of little details in this one. He does a board slide front flip with the method grab, which is Halldor Helgeson style. And if you check out that board, yep, that's Halldor Helgeson's board and his yellow jacket too. So just puts the complete package together.
SteepSteep also sporting all of those gold medals. Let's see if he can walk away with one from TFG. Currently, he is staying in 1st place. Well, would you look at that? Just Steep It taking away the 1st place in the snowboard category with a hefty 89.2, followed by Envy and SteepSteep in 3rd.
Yeah, that looks like a complete inversion of the top 3 from the big air skiing, but Stefan well deserved with the snowboard 1st place. He had that beautiful underflip with the Japan tweak and the hand tap of the guy on that rail. So a little creative, but also a sexy trick nets him the 1st place.
It is incredible that these competitors have signature moves in a video game where everyone technically has the same exact tricks at their disposal. Just Steep It pulling out his signature buddy slap, finding one of his friends, getting them in position, and executing that trick perfectly. Now we're going to throw it over to the overall scores for Big Air. And SteepSteep will be taking home the 1st gold of the Invitational.
Well, when you put his 2 runs together, it is well deserved. I mean, he had that gorgeous double windmill on the skis, but his snowboard trick was also incredible. That board slide front flip method grab, the Halldor Helgeson style, the matching outfit in the snowboard. He did put in work on the snowboard too, a bit of a surprise to me and I think everyone else, so a great 1st place by SteepSteep.
Yeah, lump me into that category as well. Huge shout outs to Halldor with that one. SteepSteep sitting pretty, heading into Real Steep.
Right behind SteepSteep, we had Just Steep It in 2nd place, just 3 points behind when you combine them. And in 3rd place, Envy, our silver medalist from Slopestyle, pulling out the stops here in Big Air with a 168 combined.
Well, I'm sure the rest of the field is looking for their chance to take a spot on these podiums and fight for overall gold at the end of the day. We'll see if they can pull it out. Pollo Loco knocking on the door, heading into Real Steep.
Well, before we take you over to Real Steep, let's take a look at the TFG Invitational points scoreboard. We mentioned that the points carry over between rounds. They have to be the best at not just a single event, but all 3 to have a chance at that TFG Season 1 championship. And after Big Air, SteepSteep walks away with those crucial 15 points for 1st place. 2nd place, Just Steep It, you'll get 12 points. Envy with 10, and then it trickles down from there. So 1st and 2nd place get a little bit of a bonus for finishing at the top of an event, but we'll see if they can keep their spots on this point scoreboard heading into Real Steep.
Well, congratulations to all of the riders, especially our top 3, SteepSteep, sitting pretty heading into the next round. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back with Real Steep. Welcome back to the Tartiflette Games Season 1 Invitational on Nick and Mitch. Now, Mitch, we're going to have to run through what sets Real Steep apart from all of the other TFG real events we've had in Season 1, especially the fact that these riders are allowed to use anything that the game provides.
That's right, we have opened it up to every single sport, every single location in the game, so anything goes. Like the other real events though, this will be a 1-minute edit, so they have a very short window to impress the judges. And speaking of judging, it is scored on 40% overall impression, 25% creativity, 25% tricks, and 10% editing. They'll really have to put in the work to impress the judges and us. Hopefully we see a lot of different sports in these videos. And one thing to note, some of our riders have slightly longer versions of this up on their YouTube channel, and some of them used a different song. We switched it out just for copyright, but they were judged on their original song and original video. So I highly encourage you to check out those videos. We'll have them linked down below.
Well, there you have it. That's everything to expect from Real Steep in round 2. Mitch and I are going to take a back seat and let these videos speak for themselves. So we'll see you on the other side.
All I ever wanted was you, but you left me alone inside these empty, broken walls. And I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall. And now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted. Somebody help me, 'cause I'm feeling trapped and I don't know what to do. There's no one to save me from this hurt I feel deep within my bones.
Wingsuit. 10 toes down to the ground right now. Right now. Think I finally figured out who I am with my style. But I'll keep my soul to the ground. Thinking up, up, up. Keep that ego in clown. Rather clown all out by myself right now. Big, big man, like my ship is all sound. Like no water on board, like I'm not about to drown. I'ma keep it all 100, man, I'm really freaking out. People listen in now, I'm not just talking to myself. Make me scared, I'm gonna let them all down right now. Right now, pray I never lose myself. Pray in flashing city lights, I keep my pretty boy smile. Pray this all work out. I caught my mama house, so when I look inside her eyes, all that real was worthwhile. Pray my team break ground, so this album popping out. Swear drop, I'm gonna be right there. Push, baby, push. I think I finally figured it out. That's all that life's about. Hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, gon' show 'em something? No stunt double, I do my own stunt. Could take a year, I'll still have that paper coming. Put like 10 on the 90, I keep it so on it. All in the club, we don't do no clubbing. Throw like 10 on the 90, I keep it so on it. Orange label, I might pop me too. I was getting money, but they didn't have a clue. Caught the Porsche coming powder blue. Hit the top, we don't need the roof. Fools know we made the rules. I'm with the club, posted by the marina. Eating fruits, looking at views that you never could dream of. Getting served all this paper, I'm not talking subpoena. Gotta flow like a river, but you won't find one that's cleaner. No stunt double, I do my own tricks. I got hits on hits, this like my bat flip. Mind on my money, low where my palm itch. Took the slow lane cruising, now look we all rich. I hop out the car, leave the motor running. Why you always talking like you know something? Why you always talking, gon' show 'em something?
Well, what did we tell you guys? These are powerhouse editors that we have up on the mountains today. Not a single dull moment in the bunch.
No, when we were telling them about this event, we told them we want your best 1-minute video in Steep. We want this to be a trailer for the game. And Ubisoft, if you're watching, you know where to look for your trailer for Riders Republic. These guys have it on lock.
Let's take a look at the scores after Real Steep. Just Steep It is going to pull away on top with a 93.2 in round 2.
That was such an incredible video. The concept from start to finish, select your rider, select your sport, and then hitting those different sports. He had everything in there. Just such a great video. And like I said, an advertisement for Steep.
A master storyteller. We also cannot leave out SteepSteep in second place, just sitting right behind that leader.
Well, we were interested to see what he could bring in his edit game. And while he didn't use other sports, he just crushed the tricks in skis. The creativity was there, the tricks were there, and the editing was lights out too. Such a great job.
Especially surprising coming from SteepSteep, who claims that he only knows how to use the cut tool in his video editing software. Well done to the Canadian. And last but not least, third place goes to Flair with an 88.6.
No surprise there with Flair. I mean, everyone's been calling him the mobile edit god. He won our real snow event. He won our real street event. So the editing is there, and he brought the tricks and he brought the heat. The soundtrack just got me pumped up the whole time.
And taking a look at the rest of this leaderboard, I want you to notice 9th place down there, Steep Clips Germany with an 80.8. Mitch, that is a 13-point difference from first place to 9th. I mean, an incredibly tight field.
Yeah, that's the closest spread we've seen so far. I think that's even closer than our real events from earlier in the season. So Steep Clips Germany bringing the heat in his edit too. I mean, loved all of them. Hard to pick, small point differences between everyone.
And finally, to cap off the event, let's bring back the TFG Invitational points. And would you look at that, Just Steep It and SteepSteep are tied for first heading into round 3.
Well, I think these were the riders people were favoriting when the cast was announced. But there's a couple other people that have a chance to take home that top spot. Sitting right below them, we have Envy. Flair rocketing up that scoreboard with his edit, getting him into 4th place. And then we have Camox, Poyo, Mort, Lucas, Steep Clips Germany.
And I just want to point out that there's also a battle for 6th place going on right now between Poyo Loco and It's the Mort. It's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out, especially because both of these riders participated in the Knuckle Huck earlier this season.
Well, it's going to be very interesting to see how this podium shakes out after the final round. A couple ties to break, and that 3rd place is wide open for everyone. So they're going to have to bring it in the ski and snowboard Knuckle Huck.
Round 3 is coming up next. You're watching the Tartiflette Games Invitational. Welcome back to Nick and Mitch. Round 3 is up now, and we saved the best for last. It is our rider's favorite and definitely the fan favorite. Get ready, Knuckle Huck is about to start.
We are taking it right back to our favorite spot on the mountains, the Knuckle Huck. This takes place on the Hakuba Mountain in Japan, the Asahi Snow Park, that second jump you can hit. They have to cruise over that knuckle of the jump, pull off their craziest tricks, and of course, style matters. This one is judged on 40% creativity, 40% difficulty, and 20% execution. So they have to make sure they can get a smooth landing on this one.
No one knows it better than these riders. It is incredibly difficult to get in proximity to that knuckle, and I'm sure we are going to see some hair-raising runs here in the final round of the day. Can't wait to get it started. Our riders are up top. They are ready to go. Flair, take it away.
We're back to our favorite spot in Steep, the Knuckle Huck, and we're starting with Flair, currently in 4th place in the tournament, so he's going to need some big Knuckle Hucks. And ooh, going with the wall ride off of the jump, and then did he just do that off of the tree?
Absolutely bonks that tree, shaking all of that snow off of the branches. Wonderful cold open from the finish flash.
Just gorgeous. Can guarantee we haven't seen that yet. does the wall ride on the kicker, and then does a 180 before tapping the tree and finishing out with the 360. Absolutely bonkers, and of course he'll be in first place.
Just Steep It, currently tied for first place. It's going to be a battle of the best between him and SteepSteep. Space Clump wiping out, and Just Steep It able to get that nose into that knuckle before closing it out.
Man, he is just able to dodge Space Clump after he ate it on the corner of the mountain, but not too big of a trick from Just Steep It here in the beginning of the Knuckle Huck, keeping it a little bit safe, doing a pole drag with the Cork 9, so he's going to be in second right now. It's time for Steep Clips, going with the front flip at the start, and he's looking to improve his position in the tournament, coming to the left side of the kicker. Beautiful nose butter, and looks like a drag through the snow.
Yeah, that nose press was something out of a textbook, and then he gets the true name of the Knuckle Huck. He gets all of those knuckles right along the edge.
Beautiful look at first person too, and you can see just how cleanly he puts down the landing gear. Another angle, and that will push him into second place right now.
Up next, it is none other than Envy coming in backwards to the Huck. Looks like he is going to... Well, oh my gosh, what on earth? Looks like he just dodged a wingsuiter during that attempt.
Yeah, I don't think he dodged him. I think he got the knuckles on the wingsuit. Check that out. Super close contact. And he didn't just focus on that. He also changed up his grab halfway through. So props to him. That trick's going to send him, rocket him up into first place.
Nice.
It's time for the It's the Mort experience. He's coming in switch, coming close to the ramp. He goes with the Lincoln loop and then switches out. What? Then throws a trick off the knuckle. Man.
Geez, if you did not think that Lincoln loop wall ride was enough, Mort showing up in absolute style, hits a clean nose butter and transitions into a dub 12 with a Japan tweak. I mean, come on. Can you cram any more into a Knuckle Huck run?
I am not sure if you can, and we just have to appreciate that Lincoln Loop wall ride because he then goes 180 out. That is so hard to pull off and cleanly lands on that side before sending the rest of his trick. A well-deserved first place for It's the Mort.
I am still deeply in love with those red accents on the poles and the skis. It's Camox trying to fight his way out of 5th place, pulls off a gorgeous nose drag right on the edge.
I'm not sure if he got the nose of the skis or the nose of his face. Look how close he gets to that. Drags the skis through, and a beautiful cork 5. Well, next up on the mountain, it's Lucas from the Yukis. He's rocking the red, and he goes with a 180 before a tail butter and a cork 7. Wow.
One of our judges noted on the score sheet here, they tried to call a trick an air tap. And yeah, there it is in the replay. You can see just tapping absolutely nothing. That's incredible. Pollo Loco currently sitting in 6th place, really going to need to grind if he wants to see that podium. Coming in, another rocket wingsuit. Are you kidding me?
What is going on at the knuckle? I mean, geez, oh man, looks like he got the nose drag on the knuckle and a hand tap on the rocket wingsuit.
Folks, this is what sets the Tartiflette Games apart from the X Games. Anything goes up here on the mountains. These airspaces are wide open for anyone to try and bomb these events. Pollo Loco making the best of that situation. And yes, he is going to be sitting pretty in first place for the Knuckle Huck.
Well, only one skier left, but certainly one of the best steep skiers out there. SteepSteep going with a trick off of that rail, a beautiful flip, and man, oh man, it's heating up.
An absolutely violent send off of that rail on the side of the Huck, enough so that he completely misses the entire land hill and lands flat at the bottom. Wow, so much speed.
Just look at that blunt grab to the tap and the 180 out, and you can see the rocket wingsuits circling in the background.
Well, the end of round 1, and the riders just proved it. No one is messing around in this final round. Pollo Loco sitting pretty up in first place.
It's the first time he has seen a top podium spot here today. day, and man, was it close after that. Pollo, the 93.5, SteepSteep, the skier, 90.7, and then It's the Mort, Envy, Flare right on their heels.
I know for a fact that Pollo Loco is losing his mind right now at the fact that he beat SteepSteep at his own sport on that knuckle. Well done to the crazy chicken. You deserve it.
Well, I mean, he had an incredible trick out there. He went with the cork 9 with a blunt nose drag, but also got that hand tap on the rocket wingsuit coming across the knuckles. So the nose drag was there, the trick was there, and the timing with the rocket wingsuit, impeccable.
Yeah, Pollo Loco saw that creativity was a hefty chunk of this score and took that to heart, asking one of his friends to strap on that rocket wingsuit and time it perfectly. That was a perfectly executed run.
Well, let's see if he can hold on to that lead and if SteepSteep can stay above Just Steep It going into this final round, the Knuckle Huck snowboard starting right now. The boards are back, and this is a make or break moment for some of these riders, so we're going back to Flare. 5th right now in the Knuckle Huck, and just dipping the nose of that snowboard into the knuckle.
Sometimes these clean tricks turn out to be some of the highest ranked in the competitions, pulling out a frontside 720 nose grab, not to mention that sexy tail drag.
He gets that tail deep into the powder, enough so that that's going to keep him in 5th place for Knuckle right now.
Once again, it is time to see what Just Steep It is bringing to the table. He's really going to need to cover some ground here if he wants a shot at that podium, coming off with a clean knuckle drag.
Well, he went with the underflip to the Japan tweak. Of course, the hand drag on the knuckle, but I mean, is that all we're seeing from him? He won the Knuckle Huck snowboard event earlier this season, and then we just see a trick that we've seen some other riders pull off. Not sure if that's the best he could do.
Yeah, this is not the moment for any of the riders to be playing it safe. And I mean, their physical bodies are not on the line. I really expected to see Just Steep It absolutely send something insane there. Little underwhelming. With that run, he's going to move to 5th.
He's back up on top of the knuckle. It is Steep Clips Germany looking to improve his current 7th place in the knuckle, and huge spins. Wow, just blowing the snow off of that knuckle.
Wow, I wish we had a G-force meter on that snowboard, because I am sure anyone in real life would have just blacked out before they even landed that one.
He managed to pull off a dub 14 with the method that close to the ground. Impressive. That moves him to 5th.
Envy is on the doorstep of the podium. Let's see if this run can get him up into the top 3, pulling out some classy moves on the side of the kicker and just dancing with his board in the air.
He did a ton up there on the knuckle, a 50-50 grind on the kicker before spinning out, and then continuing on with the Misty 7 over the knuckle and changing up those hands from a method to a Japan with a tweak. Very technical.
You don't often see a lot of those hand switches in the grabs, but Envy definitely made it look beautiful.
Well, it's our final run from our friend the polar bear, adding a ton of flips at the very start to show off for his friends, continuing down to the ramp, another ride off of the kicker, and then huge flip over the knuckle.
Yeah, Mort definitely a fan of the wall ride off of the jump. He presses that nose in and is able to pull off a gorgeous Misty 10 with what looks like a glitch in the rotation.
Yeah, something funky about that rotation in the air, but there's something funky about It's the Mort, so he fits that bill, and he's gonna stay in 4th place.
I was wondering where he went. It's time for Happy Meals to take his final run on the knuckle. Camox currently sitting in 8th. Huge tail press into a plant, into a bonk off of that tree, and he is out of here.
He is throwing so much into that run with the nose butter, and then hitting the tree, and then pretzing out 180. Just some gorgeous riding from Camox. He's going to move up 1 spot into 7th place. We're down to our final 3 riders, and it's time for Lucas to see if he can improve his position in the Knuckle Huck. Headed towards the rails, a nice tail bonk off of them, and then sticking the landing.
I absolutely love the attention that these rails are getting today. These guys are not spending too much time, but they are adding so much flair to these trick combos. Pollo Loco already in action, sitting pretty in first place for the Knuckle, comes out. Oh, I get to say it again. Holy Crail!
And holy crap, did you see that drag of his head? Not at the Knuckle, but on that little hillside. Let's take another look. Head had submerged into the snow before continuing on with that Cork 5 Holy Crail.
Unreal. Looks like his rider had a little bit of blowback from that maneuver, but he was able to reel it in and stay up in first place.
Well, it's time for SteepSteep to close out the tournament. Second so far in Knuckle Huck, going off of the side hill, and oh my gosh, coming so close to that Knuckle.
Absolutely milking that slow-mo cam for all it can give us. Folks, I've said it once and I will say it again. Less is more up on these hills, and SteepSteep is living proof.
You said it, we gotta shout out this trick. A late frontside 180 with the method tweak, and the only 10 out of 10 on execution in the entire tournament.
Wow.
But look at that, well deserved.
Absolutely well done, sir. Well, history has been written, and one of these riders has just earned the gold medal overall from Season 1 of the Tartiflette Games. SteepSteep coming out on top of this snowboard Knuckle Huck with 92.3.
And check out who's right on his heels. Pollo Loco pulling out a 91.9 on the snowboard. Third place, Envy. Fourth place, Just Steep. It's sliding up a little bit. And then in fifth, Steep Clips Germany.
I just want to remind everyone, before this event, Steep Clips Germany was sitting in 9th place. Man, he climbed up that leaderboard and showed everyone else who is boss at the Knuckle Huck. Now let's take a look at the winning run from SteepSteep.
Well, there's not much to talk about except the perfect 10 on execution on this trick. I mean, can't do it better. They couldn't program the game better to do this for a trailer. That frontside 180 with the method tweak, but starting on that hill before the Knuckle and just dusting those knees on the edge. Incredible on the snowboard.
That was an absolute veteran move from the newcomer, utilizing that little hill before the Knuckle to get just enough lift to pull off the perfect trick. A perfect 10, the only one of the day. Hats off to SteepSteep, and hats off to the rest of the field as well. Cannot emphasize how incredible all of these runs were.
And looking at the final scores, Pollo Loco with just enough in that ski Knuckle Huck to take home the gold. 185.4, 2 points above SteepSteep in second place, and Envy taking away the third place position.
Looking at this board, it is just wild to see Just Steep it sitting in 6th place. I know we mentioned it during the runs, but it was a little underwhelming, and I hate to drag the guy, but for someone that is so creative up on that mountain, I really expected something huge for this final round.
Well, he had those wonderful tricks that may have won an earlier Knuckle Huck event, but not here in the TFG Invitational, bringing the best of the best. And I mean, look at this scoreboard. All of those scores, 4th through 9th place, less than a 10-point difference. So everyone brought it.
Well, we are getting ready to see who brought the most to today's overall event. We'll see you back at the booth with the final overall scores. Well, before we get to the final scores of the event, we want to give a huge shout out to all 9 riders. I mean, Mitch can explain it in way more detail than I can, but we asked a ton out of all of these riders. Not only did we ask for 3 separate TFG events, all smushed into one on a tight deadline, but they had to provide all of their replays, all of those separate angles themselves. So hats off to all of the competitors. Thank you for all of your extra hard work to get us to this point.
But now it's time to take a look at the scores to see who took home that coveted, the very first time, the TFG Championship. Well, there you have it. The man, the myth, the legend, and now the TFG champion, SteepSteep. 39 points, the only one featured on all 3 podiums today.
The newcomer absolutely smacking that competition down today. Just Steep It coming away with silver with 34 overall points, and Pollo Loco rounding out the podium with 29. Holy crap, SteepSteep came in here unannounced and just smacked the rest of this competition into place.
And some other crazy things going on this leaderboard. Envy was in the podium twice, but Pollo Loco getting that first place spot, that first place bonus points to take the 3rd place overall, just 1 point above Envy. And then 5th through 7th, a 1 point difference. And Lucas and Steep Clips gave it their all, finished out tied. Strong performance in the Knuckle Huck from Steep Clips Germany. Strong performance from everyone for this entire day. This whole event was incredible.
Take this final board as nothing but motivation for those bottom riders to come back even stronger in Season 2 of TFG. I really think that someone down there, Flair, Camox, Lucas, Steep Clips Germany, could squeak this out next year, same time, same place.
Once again, a huge congratulations to our podium and to every rider today. Seriously, don't hang your heads if you weren't in those top 3, because you're here from winning an event or consistently being on our podiums. I can't wait to see who takes the top 3 next year.
We also want to give a huge thank you to the community on Discord, on YouTube, on Instagram. Without you guys, we would have not made the Tartiflette Games as big as it has become. So truly, from the bottom of both of our hearts, thank you for supporting this series.
And a huge thank you goes out to our judges from today, Space Clump and Ollie. They put in the hard work watching everyone's runs. We had a long discussion at the end to make sure the people who got the scores, who were at the top, deserve them. And thank you to all of our judges throughout the season. There's so many to name, but thank you. You know who you are. I'll probably put it at the end credits too. You put in a ton of work. It's the hardest work, I like to say. We just get to sit here on camera and be pretty. Thanks to everyone for joining us today here at the TFG Invitational. It was a long season and a long event, but we have plenty more coming up on our channel. We have a weekly challenge every single week where you can submit your best photos in Steep. We also have Après Steep, our weekly podcast, news, show thingy. We discuss Steep and Riders Republic. Once Riders Republic is out, we will transition to the Riders Report, yet another weekly show on our channel.
To talk about Riders Republic, we are chomping at the bit to get into the brand new game from Ubisoft, the successor to Steep. You know that Tartiflette Games Season 2 is right around the corner. It will feature competitions in Steep and also Riders Republic once we finally get our hands on that. We can't wait to kick off Season 2. It's going to be even crazier than 1. Thank you again from all of us, well, both of us here at Nick and Mitch. We'll see you guys soon for either a podcast, a weekly challenge, or Season 2 of the Tartiflette Games.
Can't tell if we're dreaming now. We watch as the fire falls down. One thing playing on our minds. Time stops and we don't make a sound. You crave the love I gave, and we'll do it again. A cold night getting warmer now. The ground shakes as our love gets loud. We are the champions of the night. We are the champions of the night, yeah. Are the fighting tide, the ones that burn so bright. We are the champions of the night.